Belgium has freedom. 207 sovereign states in this world, and 180 have got freedom. Are you trying to tell me that the United States is so star-spangled awesome that we're the only country with freedom? Welcome to the Third Party Conversation. For today, episode 4, we're going to talk about freedom and sacrifice. We received a few responses to what does freedom mean to you? Time on the water, time in the woods, wind in your hair, movement. Divorce was a big one.
Divorce.
I'll put it to you. Are these real or are they fleeting? I mean, you can go out and take a weekend hike, but then societal pressures come back to you and you end up having to come back to reality. So the hike was just an escape. We have a lot of freedoms. Freedom to do good, freedom to do evil. I'm not saying that there aren't consequences to any of these things, but you are free to go out and buy a bunch of fertilizer and some diesel and blow things up. So from where do our freedoms come? We could delve into the influences of our founding fathers, but fortunately they wrote it all down. And then the colonies ratified them and became states. Of late, there's been an argument between unalienable rights versus those laid out in the Bill of Rights, and I don't know what to call it. Ordinary rights? What is a right? Basically, it's a list of solid, agreed upon, guaranteed rules to make society functional. From the Declaration of Independence, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Our constitutional rights, on the other hand, don't include those words. The only constitutional rights we have are the 27 amendments in the Bill of Rights. Anything else being called a right is actually a privilege or it's an authority. Roe v. Wade made a right to choose, but Dobbs took it away. So apparently it wasn't really a right, but merely a privilege. The president doesn't have the right to do anything. He has the authority to do things granted by the Constitution. The First Amendment, let's examine it. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people to peaceably assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. These are specific limitations put on our government. They unfortunately get conflated into freedoms. And from there we can talk about abstract freedom versus reality. We have the freedom to exercise religion. We have the freedom of speech. Those are real, tangible rights. We can go to a mosque, a temple, a church. College football has been called a religion in that our stadiums are the cathedral. We are free to worship, and I am free to say all those things. The freedom of the press, on the other hand, is an abstract right. You and I will never be able to exercise that right. Bezos, Murdoch, et al., on the other hand, can and do. They can hire and fire reporters or print whatever they want. The only consequence is a potential loss of revenue. We can peaceably assemble, at least for now, though there are those who will take advantage and cause harm, and then the goon squad might move in. We have the freedom to petition the government for redress. But I'm going to say that's mostly abstract. Because, one, do we even know how? Can you afford a lawyer to make it happen? We all have the freedom to put our names on a Rolls-Royce wait list, but very few of us could actually purchase one. We all can make a reservation at the Ritz, but very few of us could actually stay there. We should be free to make sure our children can reach their full potential. We should be free from worrying about war. We should be free from the worry of poverty. We should be free from the worry of losing our homes, of health care, and of starvation. But our government doesn't work towards those ends. September of 1980, the spiritual philosopher J. Krishnamurti tried to answer the question, what is freedom? He started with, where there is a choice, there is freedom. But immediately countered himself with the very freedom to choose also creates conflict, doubt, and inaction. So, is there no such thing as freedom? A totalitarian state will restrict and suppress. They'll tell you it's because freedom brings the degradation of man. Krishnamurti went on to say, what is freedom? Is it the ability to do what we like, when we like? Does freedom lay out there somewhere, or is it in here, within us? Where do you begin to search for freedom? Once again, out there or here? He also stated that if you've a dependency, you are not really free. I depend on my wife, but I'm willing to give up some of my freedoms in order to be with her. On the other hand, if you are dependent upon a single news source, ask yourself, are you free to make your own conclusions? If you are dependent upon a single political party, again, ask yourself, are you free to make your own choices, or are you being told who to vote for? Jason and I depend upon each other for this conversation. Today I bogarted most of our allotted time. You like that one?
Yeah.
Sorry, a little older. Most of our self-imposed time limit. And he gave up some of his right to the freedom of speech. The next episode will be different. I'd like to bookend my portion of this with Aaron Sorkinson via Jeff Daniels paraphrased. The first step in solving a problem is recognizing that we have one. Do you think America is the greatest country in the world anymore?
I think that's the argument, right? Between the left and the right. And I think people should look that word up. We're pretty bad in this country about using words synonymously and thinking they mean the same thing when they don't. There's a difference between greatness and goodness, for sure. And I think it's fair to say that it's both our perspective that over the last few decades, for sure, our employees in Washington have led us down some roads that, that are questionable at best. So I can tell you what my opinion is as far as American greatness is concerned. My opinion is America was, from inception, is today, and always will be great and full of greatness because of the one thing that it accomplished from its inception, and that is the breaking of the back of the idea of royal blood. Pre this country, the world was pretty much ruled by monarchs. That there was the idea that there was different blood, that there was royal blood, and if you were born into that family, you had royal blood.
By God.
Yeah. And then there was peasant blood that was different, and if you were born a peasant, that was it. You were a peasant. There was no way out of that. It was this country that ended that thinking. And even today, where there are still monarchies, it's not about blood. It's you ain't part of the club. So, in my opinion, therein lies our greatness. And next week, we're going to continue the conversation about freedom, and we're going to talk about what our forefathers were interested in with respect to freedom and what they thought would make this country great. You know, evolving out of centuries of monarchy, colonialist monarchy, you know, they were trying to put together a system for us, just a whole new way of thinking about who we are as human beings. And it definitely wasn't perfect, but just a little tease. The American experiment is not democracy. There was plenty of examples of democracy pre-America. It's not even really freedom. There were some examples of freedom pre-America, though most of them were tribal, but they existed. The American experiment is about self-governance. And that's where our freedom comes from. If you made it this far, please like, share, tell your mama and them, and give us a like and subscribe and do
Share.
all of that stuff and join the conversation. We'll see you next week.
Wait,
wait.
may I add one thing?
He's going to add one thing.
Benjamin Franklin, 17th September 1787, in response to Elizabeth Willing Powell's question. Well, doctor, what do we have, a republic or a monarchy? His response, a republic, if you can keep it.
We can keep it. See y'all next week.